Hi, I'm Sam Bass. It's 7:30 in the morning. In about a half an hour, the natives are going to start arriving. They're going to be preparing for an upcoming event that has drawn literally millions to this tranquil spot in the San Jacinto Valley. Wait a minute. I think I see one of the natives now.
Hey, come on in. We're about to start rehearsals.
Why not?
Hey, Sam, good to see you this year. Glad you could come to the pageant.
Good to see you. This is Roland Parker. He's the executive director of the Ramona Pageant.
Okay, we've got some highlights and history of the pageant. You go in and see it. I've got some chores yet to do.
All right, see you
Thank
later.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You know, Parker works year-round, and real hard year-round, too, to manage a play that's only shown 3 weekends out of the year. Of course, there's a lot to do when you're putting on a show that has over 350 cast members. As a matter of fact, I see some of the natives are hard at work already. Let's go check it out for a minute.
No. No, I am not your mother, but I have a mother's authority, and I forbid you to marry this Indian.
Senora, I love Alessandro, and I will marry him.
I will set the dogs on him.
Felipe would not allow you.
Not allow me. Felipe is my son, and will feel as I do.
You will find yourself mistaken, Senora.
I know these people don't look like natives, but that's because the cast of the Ramona Pageant is made up of doctors, teachers, nurses, students, mechanics, housewives, and maybe even your neighbors.
Your obstinacy decides.
The difference between the rehearsals and the actual show is incredible. Not just the makeup and costumes, but the sounds of the crowd reacting to a scene, the music, the dancing. I guess it's just the overall atmosphere that has to be experienced before it can really be understood.
Now hold on there, Sam. It sounds to me like you're starting to catch pageant fever.
Hi, Phil. This is Phil Brigandy. He's the curator of the Ramona Bowl Museum. And you mentioned something about pageant fever. I don't feel sick.
Well, are you feeling a little anxious? Your heart rate's starting to go up? You start speaking little bits of Spanish, maybe?
Yeah, well, I just figured that was from eating at Taco Bell too much.
No, that's classic pageant fever. It's been going on for over 65 years now.
Phil, who's most susceptible to pageant fever?
Oh, almost anyone who gets involved with this show. It just sweeps you away.
Phil, what's the true beginning behind the Ramona story?
Well, it really goes back to the early 1880s when Helen Hunt Jackson came out to Southern California to write a report for the government on the condition of the Mission Indians. She was absolutely appalled at the conditions they were living under, and she decided to try and write a novel to bring public attention to this, to let people know what was happening so they could try and solve some of these problems.
We're standing in front of the Estadio Adobe in San Diego's Old Town State Historic Park. Now, thousands of people come here every year just to glimpse the site of Ramona's marriage to Alessandro.
Wait, how's that, Sam?
Oh, I was just explaining that this is the site of Ramona's marriage to Alessandro, the Estadio Adobe, right?
Well, no. You see, there's no real Ramona's marriage place because there was no real Ramona. It's all just a story. Now, it's true, Mrs. Jackson used real places, real people that she met and saw when she was in Southern California, but she just wove them into the novel and used them as fiction. The irony is that in the novel, this isn't even their marriage place. Ramona and Alessandro, in the story, were married in the Chapel of the Immaculate Conception a couple blocks from here. This is just where they came to sign the marriage license. But this is the place that became famous as Ramona's marriage place.
All right, now, what about the Rancho Camulos? I mean, that's even used in the pageant.
Well, that's the same sort of thing. It's a real place. In fact, it's still a working ranch up in Ventura County by Piru. But it's just a place that Mrs. Jackson wove into the story. You see, this myth of Ramona was so strong, and every community, it seemed like, tried to grab their little piece of it, and there were books published and articles written and thousands of postcards put out, all trying to entice tourists to come visit these Ramona landmarks. While at different times in Southern California, you could visit Ramona's birthplace in San Gabriel, 2 different homes of Ramona, not just Camulos, but the Rancho Wahome near Oceanside was also billed as such. Then you could come here and see Ramona's marriage place, or people would go back to the San Jacinto Valley, visit Saboba and Kauai and some of those places. Everyone was trying to claim their little piece of the myth. Okay.
So, Phil, come on, is there any truth to the Ramona story?
Oh, certainly. I mean, Jackson used all kinds of things that she saw and heard during her visits here to Southern California. In fact, one of the best examples started right here in old San Jacinto. This is where the Palma House stood, which was the old hotel here. In fact, you can still pick up pieces of the bricks from the hotel that was here.
It's a real brick.
She was here in 1883 and learned about the recent killing of a local Indian.
Yes, Alessandro.
No, his name was Juan Diego. Now, Juan came... Yes, and Juan came here one night in the spring of 1883 to Hewitt's Corral, which was here on this site. And Juan left his horse at Hewitt's Corral and rode off on another man's horse. Now, everyone knew that Juan was, well, a little crazy. He wasn't dangerous, but sometimes he'd have crazy spells. But the man whose horse he took, Sam Temple, who was a wagon driver, a teamster here in this area, Sam didn't see it that way. Now, Sam Temple had a mean temper, and he rode straight up here to Juan Diego's house in what we still call Juan Diego Flats. We're about 15 miles southeast of Hemet here. Sam called Juan out and shot him down in cold blood at his own doorstep. Then he had the gall to ride back to San Jacinto and claim that Juan had come at him with a knife and he'd only shot in self-defense. And the court let him off. Justifiable homicide, they called it. Well, Helen Hunt Jackson was outraged, and she took this incident straight from the pages of her report into the novel Ramona, where it's the model for Alessandro's death. Now, Juan's wife saw the whole thing, and she swore that Juan didn't have a knife, but she was never asked to testify.
And she's the one that we call Ramona.
Well, she's not really Ramona, of course. Ramona's a fictional character, but after the novel came out, people were looking for a real Ramona. They really wanted to believe that there was someone out there who'd lived that life. And here was a woman who tied in with part of the story, so people simply started calling her Ramona.
All right then, how did we get from a popular novel to an outdoor pageant known throughout the world?
Well, people had been trying to dramatize Ramona almost from the time the novel was published. And Hollywood picked up on the story quickly, too. The first film version was made clear back in 1910 by D.W. Griffith. It starred Mary Pickford as Ramona.
I didn't know that.
Then there were 4 others after that. But none of the films or the stage plays were ever really that popular. Then in the early 1920s, the Hemet Chamber of Commerce decided to produce Ramona as an outdoor play here in the San Jacinto Valley. And they were fortunate enough to hire a man named Garnet Holm, who was simply the best person there was in the West for outdoor pageantry. He'd done shows all up and down the state, and he was delighted to come in here and do another show. Holm had some real gifts for outdoor pageantry. First and foremost, he wrote the script of the Ramona pageant that's been the only successful dramatization of Ramona ever done. Holm also suggested finding a natural amphitheater to put the pageant on in, and that led to the location of the Ramona Bowl. Holm also wrote the script with the local actors in mind. He brought in just a few professionals to give it a little extra polish, but Holm's great gift was in taking these local community theater people and turning them into the cast that could put on a truly professional show. Only the 2 leads, Ramona and Alessandro, are professionals and can come from outside the valley. Over the years, we've had a few interesting people come and take part in the Ramona pageant. One of the most significant was Victor Jory, who began as Alessandro in the 2nd season in 1924 and was involved with the pageant off and on for almost 40 years as an actor and director, along with his wife, Jean Innes. Then in 1959, Raquel Welch, then known as Raquel Tejada, her maiden name, was in the pageant as Ramona, and in 1969, Ann Archer was our Ramona. Playing opposite Raquel Welch was an actor named Maurice Hara, who spent a total of 15 seasons in the role of Alessandro. Then in 1968, he returned to direct the Ramona pageant along with his wife Hilda, and together they've been able to carry the pageant on into the 1990s, building the audience and the quality of the show.
Phil, how much has the bowl changed over the years, the look of the place?
Well, when we started, we were really quite primitive. The clearings were made to bring through trails and settings for the play. The ranch house was really just painted canvas stretched over a wooden frame. It was like a tent. There weren't any of the seats, of course. The audience just sat on the hillsides, on the rocks, and they'd bring in blankets or seat cushions and things like that. And we slowly developed it over the years, started pouring concrete seats. We built roads so you could drive up here. They had to walk in the early years. They walked up the hill to get here. There were no roads.
I know that there's a lot of renovating going on constantly. The bowl seats about 6,600 now, and there are plans to upgrade even some more, aren't there?
Oh yes, the development here has been ongoing since we started the play. The pageant board is always trying to find ways to upgrade and improve the facility here to make it more agreeable to our audiences. You know, people come a long way to see this show, and we really owe them the best production that we can put on and the best facilities that we can give them.
Phil, what about the show? I mean, has it changed that much from what people may have seen in the 60s?
Well, yes and no. The show changes in some ways and not in others. One of the most obvious things that has changed in recent years is the way we stage the pageant. We've opened up the whole lower area of the bowl to allow us to spread out and work even closer to the audience. Another area that we've been improving is the sound system. We've now come up to where we're using wireless body microphones for all the lead characters. This has greatly improved the sound system. It's an amazingly technical system, and there's a lot of details that have to be taken care of, but somehow they put it all together for opening day and it works wonderfully. But as far as the story goes, it's changed very little. That's one of the chief charms of the Ramona pageant, is that it has remained the Ramona pageant. It has remained true to Helen Hunt Jackson's original story.
You know, we got here kind of early, Phil, and when we got here, the museum was closed. Now, I don't suppose you could give us a little tour before the cast arrives, could you?
Sure, Sam, come on.
Let's do it.
Now, the Ramona Bowl Museum's been here since 1952, and we have a wonderful collection of Indian artifacts and things from the local area, but our major collection are artifacts from the Ramona pageant. We have pictures of every single season, the different cast members from 1923 right on through the present, the posters, some of the publicity material that was made. We have props and costumes. One of the real prizes is the original script that Garnet Holm wrote of the Ramona pageant in 1923, and that's his prompt book with his handwritten changes and even an occasional cigarette burn where he got a little absent-minded while he was directing the play during those early years.
Priceless stuff.
It's a wonderful collection, and thousands of people each year come to visit the museum, to visit the bowl, and see the layout that we have here.
It's amazing.
Some of the other interesting things in this case are from some of the people who were in the 1923 show. And that was an amazing cast that first year. Many of them, the local people in the community, came back year after year after year. And so Frank Felt, who played Father Salvatierra, clear on up through the 1940s, and we have his cane and sandals and sash, and Aunt Rye's shawl from Harriet Jones, who was also in the play for many years, and Adelaide Clark, the original Senora Moreno from 1923, who was a wonderful actress, very, very talented woman. And so some of those things are very nice to have from the first years of the pageant. But we also are trying to collect right on up to the modern day as they replace costumes in the pageant today. The older costumes are donated here to the museum. So we continue, so in 50 years someone can be showing, here's a costume that was used clear up to 1990. So, you know, the history is kind of an ongoing thing. It's not all there in the past.
You sound like you really like working here in the museum.
It's a very enjoyable position. I started as a volunteer here, which is true of most people who are on the staff, and was able to move into working in the museum as curator and as a historian. It's given me time to do research, try and solve some of the mysteries of the history of the pageant, and get things straight.
You know, I noticed Ramona's side saddle. Now, riding side saddle is something I've always associated with aristocratic women.
Well, what you have to associate it with is women who wore floor-length dresses.
That's true.
As Ramona does, and all the women in the pageant do, since in that era, in the early 1850s, that's what you would have seen. And so the side saddle was and is still very important today, and this one was used for many, many years in the show.
Phil, you mentioned the date 1850. Now, Helen Hunt Jackson wrote it in the 1880s, but it was set in the 1850s.
Yes, just
California?
after statehood. What's happened is the Spanish settlers and the Mexican settlers have come in. We've gone through the mission era. We're coming to the tail end of the Rancho era, and the Americans are coming in now. And the story is really about what happened when the Indians and the Californios and the Americans all met. And what happened, of course, and what Jackson was trying to say, was that the Indians were dispossessed, the Californios were turned off their land, and that it really was, in some ways, a tragedy. And she didn't want people to feel guilty about this, you understand. Even in the 1880s, she was writing about things that were off in the past, 35 years. But she wanted people to know what had happened and say, what can we do better in the future? How can we treat these people better than we have been? And that was her goal. What could we do in the future? And that's still part of what goes on with this Ramona story today. It's supposed to be an eye-opener to people, to understand what happened before they got here, and let that try and encourage them and influence them to move in better directions themselves.
Now, you got to show me some of these great pictures, because this is the whole history of the Ramona pageant here.
The photograph set is very popular, and we're glad that they took the time to set it up back in the 1950s, and we've kept it going. Now here, 1959, here's Raquel Tejada in those days, Raquel Welch today, and
she was 18?
She was 18, fresh out of high school in San Diego.
1959, so we could do some quick math and we know
But
how old
she
she
probably
is now.
would rather that we didn't. And her Alessandro that year, and for many, many years, was Maurice Hara, who you've met as our director.
Sure. They made a nice looking couple.
Yes, they did. Maurice was a little different from the old Victor Jory image of Alessandro, you know, the tall, broad-shouldered, heroic, deep-voiced Indian. Well, what Maurice showed was that you could be heroic and deep-voiced, but still look much more like the part. Maurice looked like Alessandro, and so he was much more convincing in the part. And in 15 seasons, he played the role longer than anyone else did. And it was wonderful to see the old films of him in the part and things like that. But also, people come in here and they start folding through these and they go, oh, wait. Oh, there's my friend, or there's my mother, or there's me. And it's always fun to be here in the museum and hear the pictures going clang.
For people who live in the valley, these are almost like family albums, aren't they?
Oh, yes, and people come up here and they know, where the picture is, and they go right to it, and they show you. Here's Maurice's very first year here, 1952.
Maurice, what's it like being a part of the same show for so many years?
Well, I'll tell you what, my wife and I have always been very involved in things, the cultural things of Mexico and early California. We've studied it for years and years. In fact, my wife is a fifth generation California. And so we were always interested in this. In fact, we worked in a theater that involved itself in this situation. And then when I saw the story, when I first became involved here with the pageant, I loved it rather immediately. I loved it because of the character in it and the Indians and their plight and the fact that it was laid in the early days of California. So to me, it's been great love for the play and for the people that are involved in it, because we have all become friends, although some of them change because of the play. Some characters change, but they all become involved, and the minute you see it and do it, immediately you become embroiled in it, and so you love it.
As the director, what type of changes have you made in the play over the years?
Well, we can't make too many changes as far as the story is concerned. It always tells the same story. The big changes I think I have made is that I made the play itself bigger than the pageantry, the sweeping color, the whole of costuming and the horsemen. And that's what people basically came to watch. But now they come to listen to the story, and I made it more of a play. And that's one of the biggest changes that I've made.
Do the shows get easier to direct each year?
No, not necessarily, because from time to time we'll make changes. For instance, we'll have a new Alessandro or a new Ramona or a lesser part in the show, so that as far as working is concerned, I never find it easier each year. In fact, lately I've been trying harder because to me it's a bigger challenge is to see how we can keep people interested in viewing the show. theater goers nowadays demand more of you, and they are more critical, so that we try to update it little by little, but not to show it in a way that it's going to change the plot or it's going to change the play at all. But that comes with the territory.
Because cast members change from year to year, do different characteristics rise and impart because of a person's ability, or do you simply mold a new member to that part?
No, I try to take advantage of their ability. If they can sing, or if they're better actors and singers, then we have to work around some of those things. But no, I never try to change them and say, this is the way it's got to be, because it doesn't go with that. Apparently, because of the physical situation, their bodies may be different. They may not be able to do some things as well as other actors have. So we work together, and we fight, and we argue, and now we finally have come to a middle ground, and they're happy, and I'm happy. So it always works.
We have an old clip of you playing Alessandro and Dorothy Vosberg playing Ramona. Now, this clip was taken from a 1957 NBC show called Wide, Wide World. Let's take a look.
Our live cameras take you to a play. Time at this very moment. Place, the Ramona Bowl in Hemet, California. Where in this amphitheater with its perfect acoustics, you can hear every breath, every word whispered by a most distinguished cast, the very people who live and work in the towns of Hemet and San Jacinto.
Good as you. Senora will never know. Isn't that wonderful, Luigo?
Wonderful, Margarita. Your mama likes you, Margarita. If you don't go in and help your mother fix this up...
The play, Ramona, now playing in its 30th year, based on Helen Hunt Jackson's famous novel, a love story and a sweep of history. Tickets, please. Like a pilgrimage to the famous passion plays in Europe, people from all over America make an annual pilgrimage each spring to the very spot where the incidents in the story took place. Maybe before we go in, Ralph Frood, the director of Ramona and professor of drama at UCLA, can tell us a little about the play.
I'll try, Dave. It's really not only a play, but an event. I only direct it, but the people of the towns produce it, act in it, and grow with it. It's a saga of California life, past and present. As you have said, Dave, it's similar to the European Oberamago. The Ramona pageant has, in fact, been called the American Oberamago.
Well, if that's so, who represents the figure of the martyr who suffers for the people in the story?
Well, the Indians, Dave. What Helen Hunt said in her novel is that the native of America was despoiled of his birthright by the early Spanish white man. What Harriet Beecher Stowe said in Uncle Tom's Cabin, Miss Hunt and the dramatist, Garnet Holmes, try to do with Ramona. But, Dave, you better get in there. You wouldn't want to miss the fiesta scene.
Well, thank you, Professor Frood. I'll follow our live camera.
My dear friends, my house is your house. May your visit be long and your hours filled with happiness. For the far journey you have made and the music and laughter you have brought us, you have our deepest gratitude.
The gaiety of old California, played by new Californians, the townspeople of Hemet and San Jacinto, ending Act One of Ramona and giving us a moment to chat in the intermission with the lead, Dorothy Bailey, who plays the part of Ramona. Dorothy, what do you do in real life?
Well, this part has become very real to me, Dave. I have played the part for 7 years, and I feel as though I'm kind of been born into it now. As a matter of fact, I got married into it.
You mean in the play?
Well, no, actually, in real life. I came to the Valley right out of college to play the part of Ramona and met and married a man who had the biggest house in San Jacinto. Oh. Actually, he owns a hotel. And seriously, my husband, Bill, has a big heart, too.
How about a family? Is that a big one, too?
Well, it's just the beginning, Dave. We have 2 daughters, both born on the same day, 4 years apart. But in the off seasons, I play Ramona.
Well, you sound pretty busy.
It's a very creative life, Dave. It's a creative life in the shadow of Mount San Jacinto.
On stage, George.
Pardon me, that's my cue on stage. Nice to have talked with you.
Nice to talk with you, dear.
Alessandro! Alessandro!
Our Ramona is now returning to the stage set in the mountains for her scene with her Indian love, Alessandro. He has come with his news from his Indian village.
Oh, my God, you're ill, Alessandro.
Yes, I am not strong. But I could not go away forever without one side of your face.
Why, what do you mean?
Have you not heard? Oh, how shall I tell you? I have no home. The strangers have taken all. My people are scattered. I am a beggar.
Alessandro.
Some men rode up to my father's house. They read a paper. The Indian must go. My aged father was turned out. They shot him, burned his crops, and rode away. My father cried out in a terrible voice, Alessandro, Alessandro. And
he died?
He died, senorita. And I buried him.
In Temecula?
Oh, no, you don't understand. Even the graveyard in Temecula has been destroyed. I cannot tell you more.
Alessandro, why do you never call me Ramona?
I cannot, senorita.
Why not?
I have an Indian name for you. A name you've never heard.
What is it?
It is the name of the bird you are most like. The wood dove, Mahel. That is what my Indian people would have called you.
Oh, Alessandro, your people are my people. I am Indian. Are you not glad, Alessandro? Oh, I thought that you would be glad.
I have long been glad. I knew you were Indian. Goodbye, Mahela.
Oh, Alessandro, oh, take me with you. I would rather die than have you leave me.
Senorita, you take me to the gates of heaven, but I dare not enter. Please, let me go. It would have been better for you if you had never seen me.
Alessandro, please take me with you.
Let me go, senorita.
Please, I cannot live without you.
I will take you with me, my beloved senorita.
Oh, you will be glad all your life long.
Yes, I shall be glad all my life long.
Wait here, Alessandro. Oh, all is ready. I've hidden all that we want to carry. I will join you in a moment.
Oh, God, what shall I do? Even now I feel I should depart and spare her all the sorrows she must face. These sorrows which of late have come to us. Where shall we go? No home, no friend, no kin. Oh, God, God, look down and see and guard us both. Alessandro and his beloved Mahel.
Alessandro?
In the play, Ramona, we don't know where the facts of the story end and where fiction begins. But it's the whole truth to say that in this humble story, California is proud of its greatest outdoor play.
Watson Gilmore first appeared in the Ramona pageant in 1936, and he's still with the show today. Here's a segment of an interview done in 1990 in his role as Juan Canito.
The part I play in the pageant is the Juan Canito, and I've played this part for 37 years. This is my 37th year in the part. Finally learned my lines, so why should I quit? The part of Juan Canito is fairly important to the play because it has the narrative part. It puts the whole show together, and it has a comedy relief, a lot of plot lines. It opens and closes the show, and so it's a pretty nice part to play. I played Farrar for 3 or 4 years ago, and that's a real good part, except that you gotta fight the horse, you see, and that's why I tried for the part of Juan Canito, because I just had me to look after, and made it a lot easier.
Oh, it is little that Ramona would get from the estate.
Oh, why not? Juan, why not?
Well, if you promise not to tell, I will give you the story.
Yes, I promise.
Ramona is no relation to the senora.
Oh, then she is the foster child to the senora.
Foster child?
Yes, the foster
child. Ramona's mother was Indian.
Indian? Did you say Indian?
See, and the senora bears her no love, I can tell you. Why, once I heard her say
Juan,
to the
there is no doubt the senorita's mother was Indian.
That, at least, I can swear to.
Robert Taylor first appeared in the pageant in 1959. Then he was a Spanish dancer. Since then, he's taken over the very meaningful role of Padre Salvadierra, which he's done for many years.
The part of Salvadierra is that of a Franciscan friar who comes out from the early missions and conducts services at the various ranchos and mission stations along the route. He does the baptisms, marriages, and conducts sacraments for whatever is needed at the individual ranchos.
Senora!
Padre.
Senora, everything is arranged. The sheep shearers say Alessandro may stay a while.
Padre, you always manage matters so well.
How is the beloved son, Senora?
I am very frightened, Padre. He is still so feverish. His mind wanders.
Is Alessandro in the room?
Yes, he hardly leaves him. He stands quietly by Felipe's bed.
And is Ramona there?
Oh, yes, she is there too.
Your tone is hard, Senora.
The girl has persuaded me to let Alessandro sing to Felipe. He took such delight in hearing him before his illness. I have given my consent.
Listen, Senora, listen.
I must return.
Oh, the singing may soothe
But
him.
Ramona is with him. The saints forgive me. Should this plan succeed, I shall almost grudge her the credit of having helped Felipe. I cannot bear to see her touch my son.
Senora, certainly in moments like these, you should put away such thoughts.
You are right, Padre. I should. I have prayed to God that I could really love Ramona, but I cannot. She is no child of mine. For my dead sister's sake, I will do all I can for the girl. She shall never want. But I cannot make myself love her.
The ways of God are mysterious. He alone rules all hearts.
Padre, Alessandro has stopped singing. I must go to my son.
Wait, Senora, wait. First come, my daughter. Come and pray with me. Come, Senora. Come. My beloved children, It grieves me deeply to say farewell. Would that I might remain with you in your troubles. Misfortune has fallen heavily upon this household, but thanks be to God, the light is breaking through. My own days are few. It may be that I shall not see your faces again, but the will of God be done in this as in all else. My last words to you are these. Pray to the beloved Mother to intercede for you with her most glorious Son, and cast all of your cares upon Him, for He cares for you. En el nombre del Padre, del Hijo, del Espíritu Santo. Amen. Ramona. Ciao. Adios. Adios todos. Adios. Adios.
You know, the Ramona pageant takes you through the whole range of human emotions, from budding love.
And what if Don Felipe should call for you to sing to him again? He needs you. Your singing comforts him. And I also hear you play the violin beautifully. I wish you had it with you.
You wish it, señorita?
Yes. And it would be dreadful if Don Felipe called for you to sing to him again, and you had gone.
I do not know.
I beg you to stay, Alessandro. Stay for my sake. Stay for all our sakes.
Señorita, I will stay for a while.
Oh, that is splendid. I will run in and tell the señora.
Señorita, I will stay as long as you need me.
The señora will see that your stay is no loss to you.
Oh, señorita, it is not for wages that I stay, señorita.
Oh, Alessandro.
To comedy.
Well, my favorite scene is the snake scene. It's where I scare Margarita to death with the big snake.
Luigo! Oh, there you are. Whatever are you doing? You should be at your work. Luigo, you have not spoken to me for days now. Are you tired of me, Luigo? Well, what do you think of Alessandro being away so long? Something must be wrong. Luigo! Luigo!
And rage against injustice.
Hey, you up there! Where's that priest, that Padre Gaspero you wanted us to meet?
Please wait, senor. Father Gaspero is coming now, and he can explain.
Yeah, it's always wait and wait with you Indians. Well, Jake, what do you think of the place?
Oh, it looks all right, I guess. But it does seem kind of tough, coming in and taking their land and all.
Why, it's just going to waste in the hands of these lazy beggars.
Just the same, if it weren't for my wife and kids, why, I swear I'd rather lose my money and leave the poor devils alone.
Wait a minute now.
But I reckon it is a case of me starving to these Indians, so I guess I'll have to see it through.
These are the men I told you about, Padre. And I bear ill news. Padre Salvadierra is dead.
Padre Salvadierra dead? May his soul rest in peace. He was a faithful servant of the church. Greetings, gentlemen. For the sympathy that has brought you here, I thank you. Well may you deplore the loss of so fine a servant of God.
No, Padre, no. These men come not to tell you of Padre Salvadierra. They come to claim my northern piece of land.
Is it true what this man says?
Hey, listen, I didn't come here to get in any fuss with you. I got a right to the northern acres of this canyon. I bought them, and I aim to have them.
How can that be so, Padre? Here is the paper that gives the land to me.
You have come to take the land, and I thought you'd come to tell me of Padre Salvadierra.
I never saw or heard of that Padre. I'm here strictly on business, and I don't want any trouble. I want possession of that land.
Show him the paper, Padre. Show him the paper.
I have here, sirs, the deed by which Isidro holds the land, signed in proper form by the governor of California.
You're out of date, and so's that paper.
All of this land belongs to the United States government, and this piece has been sold to me.
But this man has it direct from the government. It cannot be taken.
Oh, yeah? Well, guess again. Well, this here is my agreement and concession. Now, the sooner that Indian gets out, the better for all concerned.
Your paper's in proper form.
You bet it is. It's legally drawn and legally paid for. Now, you'd better see he legally gets out or I will. Is that clear?
Away, Farrar. What the hell are you doing?
There is nothing else to do, Isidro. You must leave and find another place. There is no hope.
And
as for you, hear now the words of truth. You stand on law, on might, and on the power of wealth. On these things justice can never grow. Beware the time when your great people shall rule the world only by wealth. The Indian now is driven out. So shall Christ be. Take the Indian's land, yet hear the sacred words. What shall it profit a man if he gain the whole world and lose his own soul?
Come on, Farrar. We can't do no more here.
Well, maybe not, but the law is the law. I've paid my money, and I'm going to have what belongs to me. It's no use arguing with these people.
Come, Isidro, come.
You know, every good drama has to have its villains, and Marion Carter is one of the best. Marion, what are your favorite scenes to play?
Oh, it's hard to say. I like very much the scene where I fight with Felipe, not because I hit him, but because it's a very emotional scene. And I also love the scene at the end where Ramona and I have the big confrontation over the jewels and over the fact that she wants to marry Alessandro, and I absolutely refuse to give my permission.
But since, I have been wondering whether you could devise some plan whereby Alessandro might still be retained on the rancho.
Why, yes. We could make him the overseer. Then there would be no reason why Ramona should not marry him.
Marry him? That marriage day, Felipe, would be my funeral day. Oh, that a ward of this household should marry an Indian. But why marry? Ramona would not care. Let the man take her as he would any Indian girl. She would not care.
Do not say that.
Oh, Felipe, are you blind? I found her in his arms. Look at me when I speak to you. Do you think an Indian would have dared to say one loving word to Ramona unless she had first led him on? Oh, she shall go. Where I care not. Let her depart and live as she pleases. Let her be mistress to that dirty Indian.
Mother, you have said too much. Know this. If Ramona had not loved Alessandro so, I would have asked her to be my wife.
Felipe!
You will find yourself mistaken, Senora. Felipe is Alessandro's friend. And mine.
Oh, you consider yourself all-powerful in my poor house.
Oh, no, Senora.
Your obstinacy decides me. Sit down. Sit down. This box contains the explanation of everything that you should know.
Senora!
I pray the señorita to listen quietly. My sister, the Señora Orteña, on her deathbed confided you, her adopted daughter, to my care. On this paper are her instructions. In it, I am authorized to use my discretion. These jewels were your father's. They are to be given to you on your wedding day, provided you marry worthily. If not, they are to be given to the church. Look at the paper yourself.
But, Senora, this paper does not tell me what I wish most to know. Who was my mother?
There was no need to write that down. Your mother was Indian.
The fiesta scene is one of everyone's favorites. Here the music and the singing and the dancing and the colors are so spectacular. It's hard not to get swept into the myth of Ramona.
Mi casa es su casa.
Gracias, Señor.
May your visit be long and your hours filled with happiness. For the long journeys you have made and the music and laughter you have brought to us, you have our deepest gratitude.
Gracias, Señora.
The Ramona pageant is more than a story of man's inhumanity to man, and it's a lot more than nostalgia. At the very core of the Ramona pageant is a love story about two people who so desperately want to be together.
Tears have come again to the señorita's eyes. And she would not be angry if
Oh, yes, Alessandro.
I tell her I love her.
I know that you love me, and I am glad of it.
Could the señorita... No, how could she love an Indian?
Oh, yes, Alessandro, I do mean it. I love you, and I will go with you wherever you go.
You know, it seems that everyone we've interviewed has a different favorite scene.
The best part of the show to me is the christening scene.
Los vientos del valle amarán la niña, la hierba bailará bajo sus pies.
I have to say, because I follow them, and it's a tough act to follow, it's when the Little Rock Indians stand up. It's always the most breathtaking part of the show. It's also been the part of the show where the last 3 years my son has also been involved with me. He's been one of my little chiefs up on top of the mountain, and that's another aspect of the show that's so wonderful. It's so many families involved. It's not just individuals. Sometimes you have 3 and 4 generations who are involved in this, and that's great.
See it rise, rise, arise.
I like the part with Joe and Aunt Rye.
It was so kind of your father, Joe, to give us half his animal.
Shucks. We couldn't use it all anyways.
Joe!
Here, come on out. Oh,
Joe! Oh, Joe! You didn't hurt yourself, did you? Now, don't go breaking a leg just when we're getting started.
Shucks, Ma. I'm all right.
Look at that there little saucepan, Joe. Hand it up to me. If you bent that and too bad, we're just out of luck. You know the big one's got no handle, and the middle one's got a hole in it.
Do we need this old bucket, Ma?
Sure, son. You don't never throw away old buckets till you get new ones.
How about that kettle?
I'd wrap it up in that old nitro, Joe. You just can't never tell. Well, child, it sure seems powerful hard to leave you folks after getting so well acquainted. You must come down visit us sometime in San Bernardino. It's only about a 2 or 3 day journey.
Yep, just a whoop and a holler.
Oh, Aunt Rod.
My favorite scene is the bridal scene. It's called the bridal scene, and not in terms of marriage, but in terms of a horse bridal, because I get to go through a whole variety of emotions. I laugh, I dance, I cry, and that's the most fun. Alessandro, how is he? How is Don Felipe?
He sleeps.
Then he will live?
Padre Salvador believes so.
Oh, I am so happy. Come, Alessandro, look happy too.
I am glad that Don Felipe is better.
Well, then we shall have fiestas and music and dancing.
Well, if that is your wish, Margarita, I hope the Senor will get well very quickly.
Oh, so do I. Oh, I love dancing. The sound of guitars, the little rocks in the shadows by the stream. And Alessandro, you will walk with me. Of course, we shall have to keep an eye out for the Senora. She must not see me walking with you.
No, Margarita?
No! The Senora is very strict about the girls walking with the Indians. Oh, I mean the sheep shearers. Oh, I wonder where the Senora is now.
You need not worry. She's watching beside Don Felipe with the Senorita.
Ramona. She wears herself out caring for Felipe.
The Senorita is wonderful. Everyone on the rancho loves her. Tell me, Margarita, is she to be the bride of Don Felipe?
Oh, Alessandro, how could you ever think that? The Senora looks for some great lady to be Felipe's bride. And I must say, such a thought has never entered Ramona's head. She loves Felipe as a sister might.
I understand, Margarita.
Oh, it's nearly time for church. I must call the children. Oh, Alessandro, please stay. We shall have some dances and good times together. I do not think the Senora would mind a bit. You are so different from the others.
The others? You mean the Indians? No, Margarita, I am the same. I am Indian.
But you're not like the usual dirty...
I am Indian! Sometimes I have dreamed of a home, but to what end? What thoughts for me of love, peace, or joy?
Alessandro!
I am an outcast Indian. Do you understand?
Alessandro!
Oh, Margarita.
What are you saying?
Forgive me, Margarita.
Oh, I'm sorry if I said anything.
I think one of the most difficult aspects of Ramona, or of playing Ramona, is the scene where the baby dies. Being a mother, that scene is heartbreaking. It's very, very difficult not to find the emotion in the scene. That's no problem. The problem for me is coming off the emotion, because if I ever lost my son, I don't know how I would deal with that.
Say, Indian, you're a mighty good-looking woman. Are you married to that fella you're living with up there?
What do you mean?
Oh, you get my meaning all right. Anytime you want to change, plenty of grub, plenty to drink, money to spend, why, you just ask for me, Farrar.
How dare you?
Oh, hell. I dare, all right. A lot of them do it. Shucks, I ain't above an Indian woman anytime. Now, don't forget, anytime you want to come stay with me, you just ask for Jim Farrar. How about a kiss just for you?
You dog! If my husband
husband were here, he would kill you.
You don't have to get so mad about it. It was only a joke. But the offer still stands. You come see me whenever you want. By golly, you're quite a little spitfire, ain't you? Adios, Senora. Adios. Remember now, Jim Farrar.
Oh, my little one. We will take you away. It is no longer safe. Oh, God. God, no! No! It is dead! Oh! Alessandro! 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 Alessandro!
And we have one line from Richard Livingston that Garnet Home would certainly appreciate.
Because the Indians are people first who just happen to be Indians. And I think that's really important, to make Alessandro a person first and Indian second, as opposed to portraying him as a stereotypical Indian. To try to give him, even though we're performing for 6,000 people, try to give him nuance that you would see maybe in a film or maybe in a small theater, and then make that a little bit larger and try to make him someone that everyone can relate to and know, even though he is Indian and he maybe has different attributes than some other people, but to make him really real.
While everyone has a favorite scene, there seems to be one common thread in the pageant that keeps people coming back year after year to be a part of the show.
I initially got involved 8 years ago because of my love for singing. I enjoy singing very, very much. And when I got involved, you get kind of hooked because the people involved, they're wonderful people. They are the type of people that you like to associate with. And even though you don't see these people after pageant, you may not see them for a period of 7 to 9 months, but you can't wait to see them again and to renew old acquaintances, and they're just a bunch of great people.
One of the most important aspects of the play, I feel, is the fact that the whole time you're involved with the play, it's sort of like being involved in a family reunion. Everybody is friendly, you're made to feel at home. There is work involved, but it's made fun simply by the fact that you're making new friendships that are going to last years.
We hope that you feel as though you're a part of our family too, because you are. People like you have come from around the world to our little corner of Southern California, and you know what? They've walked away with some of that pageant fever too. Now, if you missed the pageant this year, we invite you to come next season. For show dates and tours, you can contact the Ramona Bowl ticket office at area code 714-658-3111. As we leave, we join Juan Canito in his farewell to the Merino Rancho.
Weeping the Californios leave, yet midst the bitter pain of losing all that they have loved so well, one favor still they beg from those who come. Justice. Justice for those who in the far-off days held these fair lands in undisputed sway. God, send the Indians justice and a part of the vast heritage that once was theirs. So may it be. The future lies with God.